You've heard that you need to create a free offer if you're going to promote your business. You've probably seen lots of other experts doing this, but you may be wondering, what do I create and how do I make sure it's even what my potential clients might want? Well, in this video, I'm going to share it's a very, it's a very simple 3-step offer formula for creating a highly effective free offer. Now, if you have not been on any of my lives, you know that I fly through content very quickly. I am happy to send the show notes. So just comment with offer and I will make sure that you get them after we go live. If you don't know me, my name is Joyce Lehman, and I show coaches and consultants how to attract and connect with their ideal clients online using simple social systems so they can generate more leads and make a bigger impact without getting overwhelmed in the process. Now, this is actually one of my favorite things to do is help you figure out what your offer strategy is and create that irresistible free offer that actually helps to get prospects into your marketing funnel so you can start to develop relationships, you can expand your authority and expertise and be known in the world because we need what you have to offer. So this 3-step formula, it's going to simplify the whole process. So the first question is, why do you even want to create an offer? Well, there's a couple of reasons. So the first one that a lot of people miss, this is such a good way for you to test content. It's to be able to see if anybody wants what you have to share, especially if you have a new idea for an offer that you're not quite sure what to do with yet, or you don't know fully how to develop and build it out. So when you offer something for free, you have that lead magnet, that freebie, I'm going to use those interchangeably, then that way you can test that content. You can actually get people to give you insight, and then you can make tweaks if you want to go ahead and create, a full-on offer with it. Now, the other thing that you want to do too is free offers. If you think about the people that follow you on social media, here's the thing. 97% of the people following you on social media, they are not ready to make a purchase. They're not in that awareness, that stage of awareness in their client journey that they're ready, willing, and able to invest with what you have. So when you create a free offer, then what you're doing is you're giving individuals a chance to connect with you, to be able to start develop a relationship with you. You get to give them snackable content, you give them additional insights. And then when that 3%, right, when they're at that point, you've been delivering value, then it makes it much easier to be able to actually land a new client. So that is part of it. If you're building a business online, you got to put yourself out there. Now, I understand one of the biggest pushbacks, I hear this a lot. It's like, Joyce, why do I want to give away what I have for free? Here's the hint. Implementation. You will give away content. I do live videos. In fact, I just did a free visibility challenge. It was a 4-day challenge. I've done lives. I've done workshops. I've done, promoted lead magnets and all of that. Implementation. Very few people are actually going to be able to implement what you're sharing as effectively as you know how to do it. So know that even though you've given it, people are going to download things. In fact, you've probably done it. I know I've done it. You download stuff and it collects dust. It's sitting in your, sitting in your documents folder, or it's sitting in, your email and you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot about it. So that's why when you create the free offer, you're also going to have to create an email series to go with it. I'm not going to get into that today, but you have to have a way to nurture that. You can also offer free offers or that lead magnet, like during a live, and start a conversation with just, a direct message. It doesn't have to be through an email series. So the biggest thing is building a relationship with your target audience. So as we're going through this, if you happen to get a nugget, then drop a nugget. I love to hear that. If you've given Restream your permissions, I can see who's posting comments. Otherwise, I have to go back and see who actually commented on it. So sometimes that takes a minute for myself and my team to be able to do that. But anyway, if you get a nugget out of this, post a nugget. Okay, so the very first thing in this 3-step formula is You need to identify who your target audience is. So when you create your lead magnet, when you create your freebie, the more specific you are on who you're offering this to, the better you're going to be. Why? Because you actually want people that see that I have a problem and you can help me, that this kind of helps them to self-select. It's not designed for people who are not in your target audience. So that's why it takes that funnel. And if you think about a funnel, it usually goes like this. So, the largest part of your audience, these are people that are sitting up here. They may love your content, but they may not be an ideal client. So when you have that free offer, then it starts to help them select to go, you might be the expert that they are looking for. So here are some questions. And as I said, just post offer in the chat and I will send you the show notes when we get done. So who are your ideal clients? List them out by name. What are their psychographics? Not demographics necessarily, unless you're a local business. That's where demographics can be important. But psychographics, it's like their beliefs, their values. Is it busy moms? I have one of my mastermind cohorts that he works with college students to help them get positioned. And these are folks that they want to be on stage and they want to go to Broadway and they want to have some sort of performing arts degree. And that's what he positions him for. His actual clients are the parents, but the people that he works with, they're the students. They are the high school and they are the college students. So that's why it's super important to get very specific. So what kind of problems do they have that you can solve? And you always start with what is the easiest win that you can help them get. So if you make it too complicated, then that's where you've got to, think back when you were in your journey. What is that first thing that you needed to do to solve to get a quick win? So think about common problems that they might face. These are all great things that you can create free offers around. In fact, you might have already written a blog post. You might have already done a free workshop, but you've got the content. It's just putting it together. And then, as I said, think about their client journey. So some of the things to consider is, I know, and here's the tricky part. So it's not always what they think they need. So a lot of times what your ideal clients think they need and what they need are two different things. When I talk about brand and creating an online presence and all of that, I don't get as many people saying, oh my God, I need that, as I need to generate leads and get clients. That's what they want. They don't realize that the brand is the first step to do this, but they're not looking to fix their brand. Does that make sense? So that's why think about, what are the problems that they face and how can you address that first? And as I said, what kind of information do they need that they can take action on quickly? As you're creating this, that you need to keep it closely related to what you have to offer. And when I am working with my Power of Three offer formula, this is part of the revenue foundation within my paid program. So we talk about the Power of Three. The reason is, think good, better, best. When I was doing keynotes, and this was back in 2008 when I started my business and I was doing keynotes and trainings within companies, if I would send out and say, hey, this is what I charge for a keynote, they had a yes or a no. When you reach out and you say, here's 3 separate ways that you can work with me, then they get to pick and choose what they want. So it increases the odds that you're going to hit a hot point that they have. And on occasion, somebody may love a free offer and then they're going to be like, I got such a great win out of that. I want to start to work with you. So that's why I always think Power of Three offer formula. And with your free offer, it should always be a quick win. Get them a quick win, something that's easy to do. And it creates a gap. It creates a gap into that next offer that you have. So depending on your service, then that next offer could be a longer term. If all you do is one-on-one coaching, fantastic. So maybe that next level offer is, it's a 3-month coaching program that you can solve a lot in 3 months, but it isn't necessarily, working with 12 months because not everybody's ready for a 12-month commitment. So always think Power of Three. So it's that, what's the quick win, gap, win, gap, win, gap. Okay. All right. So once you know who it is that you're targeting and you know what it is that they need, then create a free offer that fits your business goals. So what I mean by that is, if you don't have a free offer at all, then come up with something that is that good, general offer. As I mentioned, this is something that your clients are going to be talking about. It could be, if you have a frequently asked questions, it's like, what are the questions that people are always asking? A unique way to look at this, a client of mine is actually a yoga instructor, yoga for osteoporosis, very niche topic. And one of the things that she created is, if you want to get into doing yoga, but you don't want to go to your local sporting goods store and spend a ton of money doing all the things, it's like, here's what you can use at home. You've already got it at home. It's a belt, it's a stack of books, it's a pillow, it's these things. So this is what you need to be able to do yoga at home. The next step is, if you want to do it, you want to do it on a budget, here's your checklist to do that. And then here's step 3. Does that make sense? So she's giving them tools and resources. So sometimes it's as simple as that. What's your favorite tools and resources? If you're a wellness coach, it could be health recipes, but take it a step further, because guess what? Anybody can Google recipes. So that's where you've got to put your secret sauce, that magic spin, what makes you unique. So somebody says, oh my gosh, this was worth giving them my email. This was worth having a conversation with you in a direct message to get it. I'm sure you've downloaded offers that you got it and you're like, they didn't spend any time on this, and I could very easily find this. So it wasn't worth their time, and you're going to end up losing a follower. You're going to lose a subscriber. It's just not going to be worth it. So as I said, think about that. The content that they find valuable is those hot topics that are going on right now. It's so what you want to be promoting. As an example, I just did a visibility challenge. It was a 4-day challenge. So out of that, I actually had a couple of different things. With the challenge, it's a visibility audit. I had done this before as a social media audit. I had to adjust a few things, but this was one of the freebies that I gave away in the challenge. So sometimes it's going to be workshop related. It's going to be, maybe you're on a podcast, right? So when I was interviewed for a podcast, then I created a visibility playbook, different than the visibility audit. And by the way, I use Jasper AI to create things along with what's in my head. But this was because I was being interviewed. And as a part of that interview, they said, what's your free gift? So those are different ways and opportunities that you have, as far as think about, is there something special that you're promoting that you want to build that for? And this is a reminder for me, my visibility playbook is on my website. I also have my visibility challenge on the website, which means I need to take that down because the challenge is now over. So that's just another little hint. You've got to update things. All right. So the other thing that I mentioned before, and this is so important, use your free offers to test your paid offers. Because if you have this fantastic idea and you put all this time into it and then you promote it and nobody buys it, it's because you didn't do enough research, first off, and you might not have spent enough time marketing it, or maybe your audience was too broad. So that's why these are great ways that you can test things. The other thing, so as an example, and I'm trying to give you a ton of examples. So what I did recently is I have a gift yourself toolkit. It's going to be what they call a tripwire, or a very low ticket offer. It's going to be $9. Why am I creating it? Because my gift platform has 208 million views. I figured out, actually by accident, but then I figured out how to unlock visibility using gifts. Crazy thing, but it's such a brilliant way to get more visibility with your brand that most people never even think about. So with that, I've even put out a few posts saying, I've got this. I want 5 people that I'm actually going to gift it to, which I talk about it all the time with my paid clients. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time packaging it. It's not going to go into all the Canva and everything that I do. It's going to be in a Word document, but I'm going to let people test it. I want feedback before I create an actual physical product. What I mean by physical product, it's going to be downloads. There's going to be videos that go with it. So as I said, think about gifts as a fantastic way that you can test ideas and you can build out offers with it. Okay, so here's something else to consider, that when you have your free offer, and it doesn't matter if you are sending it to somebody via direct message, or if they go to a landing page, and I want to show you some ways to do this because we're going to talk about how you actually promote it is make sure it's kind of like, so they downloaded this was such a great fit and they really liked it. What's that one next step? What's that one next resource that you've already created that you can include as a link within that? You can say, for example, you're sending out an email and you're like, if you like this, check this out. This will take a deeper dive. So it's how do you get people to start? They want more information because they got so much value out of what you have. Now, years ago, this is back in 2011. Good God, it's another lifetime. When I was actually working with sales teams, working with business developers, we called it a monkey's paw. It's another way to look at it. So if you've never heard, how do you catch a monkey? You put a banana in a jar, they reach in the jar, and they're not going to let go of the banana. They want it, right? So they're going to continue to hold onto it. So that is that other thing when you're thinking about how do you start to develop relationships with clients. This is not a salesy, spammy, weirdo thing in any way, shape, or form. It's how do you get your brilliance, your expertise out there to people that need it, and you get them to say, that was amazing, I want that next piece. So that's why when you have a great lead magnet or your freebie, and then you continue to nurture the relationship and say, here's this next tip, or here's my favorite resource, or here's this book that I've read, and it doesn't even have to be yours, then they start to look to you as the go-to. You don't have to have all the answers. It's about putting information out there that people go, you're the expert. I can come to you. You may not be able to help me, but you direct me to exactly what I need to do. Your content is great. So these are all the things that you think about. All right. So finally, presentation. I want to show you a couple of things if you're wondering, how on earth do you present this? So you can do a couple of different things. So I am going to share my screen. And so with I have a lead magnet quick start guide. So this is actually a landing page. To get on the technical side of things, I use FG Funnels, which handles my landing pages, and it has all the backend stuff. So that way my forms are built in, everything else is here. So that is some of the pictures that go in the lead magnet guide. What they're doing is they're giving me their name and their email, and they say yes, that they want it. So you have to make sure that this looks like it's downloadable, like it's worth giving up your email. So here's the actual printed guide. I used Canva. And by the way, hint, hint, if you want the lead magnet guide and cheat sheet, then comment guide and I'm happy to send it to you. What I would highly, highly suggest, take it with the emails that come through, copy those emails, put them on a Word document, and then adjust that copy. So as you're creating your own lead magnet, you've got that follow-up series. Because if somebody says, yes, they download something and you never reach out to them again, then you've lost the opportunity to nurture them. So within that email series, I'm giving additional tips. I'm saying here's resources. But if you want to see how to create a lead magnet, it's got tons of ideas in it. It also has a link into Canva. So if you want an actual Canva PDF, you don't want to have to create it from scratch. I've built all of that in here. Now, the interesting thing about this is I don't advertise it as a lead magnet guide. What I do in Linktree, now I'm getting extremely technical here, but over in my Instagram account, under resources, in my profile, it has my Linktree account that says free resources. When somebody clicks that, what happens is it says, get more leads, grow your list, get more leads. Because guess what? My clients are saying, I want to get more leads. I want to make more money. I don't call it a lead magnet guide. So part of that gets into how you're wording what you're calling your lead magnet. So it inspires somebody to say, yes, I want this. Okay, I'm going to show you another one. Let me flip over here. So this is a completely different kind of lead magnet. This is actually a visibility audit. Now, I was interviewed on a summit not too long ago, and as part of my free gift in the summit, what I offered was a visibility audit. It was specifically for those guests because I didn't want to put this out here and have 500 people do a visibility audit because visibility audits take time. I am literally going into your social media profiles, your websites. I'm going in and doing this whole review. And so when they ask for a perceived value, it says worth about $150 because some of these audits can take me 30 to 45 minutes, if not longer. Plus I create a Loom video. So this is another type of lead magnet that you might be able to create. So as I said, sometimes you can put something together that is in a, it's already in a checklist. It's something that's easy to download. Other times, if you want to give your time, then you just position it a little bit differently. One of the things I see all too often, do not do this. Do not offer a free strategy call as a lead magnet, because 99.9% of the time, no one is going to say yes to that, because they're not going to jump on the phone, because the perception is you're going to try to sell them. So why would I get on a phone with somebody I don't know that well, and I don't know if you know your stuff? Now, if you're one of the big names, you're one of the gurus that has millions of followers in the business world, and they're offering it, they're spending a fortune on Facebook ads, the odds that somebody will say yes is much bigger, because they're known in the space. When you're not known, then it takes a lot more. So do not offer a free strategy call as your go-to lead magnet. You won't get any response. And I see people do that all the time on Instagram. And it's like, no wonder you're going to be frustrated and people aren't going to click links. So a couple of things, as I said, I know I am flying through this. Just comment offer. I will send you the show notes because it gives you all of this. I'm giving you a few more things in the video, but it gives you this. So as I said, a couple of things. Quizzes are phenomenal. So I use Interact Quiz Builder, which they do the heavy lifting for you. I have a brands that sell quiz. I have a brand authority quiz. It's like, how do you find your brand archetype and step into your authority? It's a quiz through Interact. Super, super easy to do. That's going to be part of the show notes. And it's something where, like I said, they literally have like 90% of it done. And then you just take that content and turn it into an email series with that. So you can use, as I said, try an audit. Maybe it's something that you've already got a blog post done, and then you turn that into a checklist. There's so many things that you can do. Now, the big one is, how are you going to promote this? You have to be able to promote your lead magnet. You can't just create it and then hope people are going to find it. What you want to do, the key to this, is actually promoting it on multiple platforms in different ways, because you want to see, is it your Instagram followers? So say, for example, you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook. So you want to see where you're getting the most traffic from. This means you have to check analytics. You have to see what's going on. So as an example, I use Linktree and I use Rebrandly. These are two different things. Linktree, I'm going to pop this over here on Instagram so it's even making sense. Otherwise, you're going to go, what the heck are you even talking about, Joyce? So I will show you this as it's taking a minute to pop up. Here we go. Okay. So, all right, this is one I didn't have up. All right. So if you go and click on my Instagram, it's going to take you to resources. So what happens? Let's make sure that we are actually on the right page. Share this tab. Let's pop over to Restream. Okay, so now we're in Linktree. So what Linktree is, it's one link that I can put on multiple platforms that takes people in. So as I told you at the top, I have grow your list and get more leads. That's my lead magnet guide. Think about what your people are searching for. I've got the visibility playbook and I have a quiz, is your brand ready to sell? I have 3 different options for a freebie. They can join the collective. They can go to my YouTube channel, get tons of content there. Finally, I have request a strategy session at the very bottom. I do not lead with that. The benefit about using Linktree is I have analytics and I know how many people have actually clicked on that through Instagram. Through that specific link, thelayman.live/resources, I use Rebrandly. It makes pretty links. I know exactly to date, 57 people have clicked that just from Instagram. That doesn't count my website. It doesn't count what's on my YouTube channel. So I know just from having it there and talking about it in comments that people are clicking that link. I know I'm getting into a little tech stuff, but I don't want you to think of, I've created and I don't know what to do with it. That means you need to share it. Let me show you another fun way that you can actually float an idea and you don't even have to have the content created for it yet. So with this, I'm going to share, let me pop back over here to, oh, there we go. Okay. So with this is what's called a ladder post. It's a hand-raising post. So if you look at this very carefully, and I have to go to the page so I can actually see it. So what I did is I said last week I shared how I got 190 million views. By the way, it's up to 208 now. God, it grew in a week. On one platform for 5 minutes of work that few are using to grow their businesses online. Minds were blown, and that was one session of the Visibility Challenge. Several have asked, so if I create a 10-minute recap with easy to implement tactics, would you be interested? I have had 16 comments on this. I did this less than 24 hours ago. Here's the deal. I haven't created the video yet. I'm creating the video when I get done here because I've had 16 people go, I want that. All I did was I did a 4-day visibility challenge. They were all super short sessions. They were like 20 to 25 minutes each. I have my notes and I am going to create like a 10-minute recap. So you don't even have to have the content created. You can just go to your Facebook page and make a post. If LinkedIn is your primary source, go to LinkedIn and make a post and say, if I did this, would you be interested? And of course the trash truck goes by as I'm doing my live, but that's okay. But that's where you create a post and you can test an idea to go, would you like this? Another great place to do this, and I know I'm going long, but this is so important, is if you go into niche specific Facebook groups, like there's Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs. It's a huge group. You have to, if you really want to promote your business, then you pay, but otherwise you can ask questions. And you could ask questions like, for me, I would say, are you more interested in growing your brand, increasing your visibility, getting more clients, right? So think about those things and you simply post a question in somebody else's group and then see what kind of feedback you get, because then you get ideas to help you create your lead magnet. Is this making sense? If it is, then please post nugget, because I would love to know if this is making sense. This is one of those key things of having an offer, but you have to do it in the right way. So with that, I try not to go too long, but I try to give you a ton in a short amount of time. So as promised, yes, yay. I'm so glad it's helpful. All right. So with that, I always do a short recap. And I post these on YouTube because I want to make sure you've got the longer video. And then some people say, Joyce, would you give me a recap? So here is your quick recap from today's session of a simple 3-step formula for creating a highly effective free offer. So you've probably heard that you need to create a free offer, but you're like, I don't know what to put out there. I see other people being successful with this. So where do I start and why does it even matter? So first off, the number one reason that you want to create a free offer is you get to test content. You can test free content, you test paid content. If you haven't created an offer, no reason in making a mistake creating something that people don't want. So that is a great thing to do. Number two is it increases your authority and your expertise by getting you out to more people who are in that bigger part of your funnel. Only 3% of your followers at any given time are ready, willing, and able to invest in what you have to offer. And considering when you create a post, typically 2% of your followers even see it. So that's why as you're creating this valuable content, it gets your face out to more people who are willing to say yes. And now, of course, the sun's coming out, but I love it. Okay, so first thing that you want to do in your 3-step formula is identify your target audience and their specific needs. You don't want to create something that's for everybody. You should know who your niche is, who would actually have value with this. So think back to your journey, where you were when you started. What was that first thing that you really needed? Was it a checklist? Was it resources? Was it a how-to guide of something to get them a quick win? So think about your audience, get into their psychographics. This is their values, their beliefs, their goals, not necessarily demographics. I find that psychographics are better, but literally come up with a name of somebody and go, this is the person that would be my ideal client. What is that very first thing that I could help them with? Then start asking, and here's your question. So who are your ideal clients? What problems do they have that you can solve? Is there a common problem? This is a big one. There's typically a common problem that everybody faces, and that's that first thing that they need to do before they move on to the next. As I said, everybody I've worked with, 100% of clients that have come to me, something is wonky with their brand. It's not what they're searching for, but something's wonky with their brand. What they want is to get more leads. So that's why I created my lead magnet quick start guide. All right, so think about the content that is most helpful to them right where they are. If I started talking to you about technology and how to build out funnels, and you use pretty links, and you have email systems and blah, blah, your eyes would probably glaze over and you'd go, hell no. Start with something that's simple. Start with the basics. And then the beauty is, as I said, if you copy that email series that I'm sending to you, then you can take and drip content and continue to educate and give them one more tidbit. If people get overwhelmed, they won't do it. And 99.9% of people that download your freebie are going to have issues with implementing. That's why you need to be the expert to help them implement this. Okay, so as you create your free offer, keep in mind it needs to be closely related. Think about my power of 3 offer formula. You have that first win, you create a gap. Then there's that second thing that they need to do that they need your help with. You help them get another win. There's another gap. Win, gap. Makes sense. It's power of 3. Okay. So number 2. So you craft a lead magnet that meets your business goals. So think about what you've got going on right now. Do you have a free workshop coming up? Do you have a paid workshop coming up? Are you going to be interviewed on a podcast? Or maybe you're doing a live, or you're going to get interviewed in some sort of a summit, or you have a bundle, right? Where you have a small, inexpensive paid offer that's part of a bundle, and they want you to give a free offer with it. So think about what your business goals are right now to create your lead magnet. I've been doing this since 2020. So I have about 15 different lead magnets based on what I've got going on and what I choose to promote. So as I mentioned in my visibility challenge, I created a visibility audit. This was a social media audit before I made a few tweaks, and it became a visibility audit for the visibility challenge. I was recently interviewed on a podcast. Guess what? I gave a visibility playbook. It's more intense. There are more pages that are to it, but it goes back to it's what I was promoting at the time. So always think about this. Then as you're putting it together, then you're like, well, where the heck do I stick this? Number 1, it goes on your website. If you have a website and that is that place that you're driving people back to, you should always have your freebie on your website. You should be offering it in social media. You can do it as posts. You can create stories. You can create reels. It can be on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. The call to action is what's going to be different. So as an example, here's another quick tip. If you put it out as a Facebook post, you could actually put a link if you had a landing page, or you could say, drop a comment if you want it, and I'll send it your way. And then you have that conversation in a direct message. In Instagram, you can't do that. You'd have to say, click the link in my bio to get this, or comment below, or send me a DM, direct message. So that's why you always have that strong call to action that tells them, how do they get it? Otherwise, they're going to wonder, how the heck do I get it? And then it's going to be confusing in the process. So there are lots of different ways to promote it. The big thing is give it time. All too often, and it doesn't matter what the marketing strategy, I see somebody, they said, well, I posted and nobody showed up. It takes consistency. I started with a brand new marketing system about a year ago. It took time for it to get traction. It also took time for me to get used to the system. And now that we're in 2023 and I'm looking at what's coming up and what all the experts are saying, then I'm tweaking that system. But you have to give it time. It is so important. The other thing that happens is if you put it out and nobody says yes, It may be a matter of just simply tweaking the title. That's all you have to do, tweak the title, or like the landing page copy that's on it, or how you offer it. So I want to go back and show, since we're doing the recap, here is a great way that you don't even have to have a landing page to promote a freebie. So with this, I mentioned that I did a visibility boost workshop. I have done it, or excuse me, a visibility challenge. I've done a visibility boost workshop. All I did yesterday was I made a little post on my personal Facebook page, and I just said, I shared how I did this. It's actually 208 million views instead of 190 million views now. I said several have asked, so if I created a 10-minute recap with easy to implement tactics right here, would you be interested? I have 16 comments. I didn't even have to create a landing page. I'm going to go shoot that video when this gets done. I just went through the challenge. I already have it. So that way, I'm just going to give them the Cliff Notes version. So if you've ever done a free workshop, hint, hint, this is a great thing to do, because you're looking for people who raise their hand, who say, that sounds like a great idea. Are they all going to be your clients? Heck no. But it gives people a chance to see what you have to offer and get them to say yes, because that's what it's about. Making connections starts with having irresistible offers, whether it's a free offer, a small offer, a larger offer, but it's getting people to raise their hand so they can say yes, so you can start a conversation. It is so easy. So with that, the main thing to keep in mind, if you remember nothing else, snackable content. Snackable content. That's what happens when you create a lead magnet or a freebie, is you're giving people bite-sized nuggets of your expertise. You can also take that lead magnet and you can turn it into lots of different social media posts, but think snackable content that's easy to implement, gets quick wins, and helps people to stay engaged with you. So with that, if you enjoyed today's video, whether it be the live version or the short recap, be sure to follow me for more information. And if you want to help creating your lead magnet, then drop the word guide and I will send you the lead magnet guide and Canva template. As I said, steal the emails that come through, because you're going to want those for your follow-up series. And I'm happy to help you get started on that. So follow me for more, and I will catch you the